North Korea's development of a missile capable of hitting the United States could present an opening for dialogue, some experts argue, if Washington can accept Pyongyang as a nuclear power. If Kim Jong-un feels he has succeeded in his quest to build a nuclear weapon, some experts believe he may be open to talks to end his dangerous standoff with the United States. If Kim Jong-un feels he has succeeded in his quest to build a weapon to deter any attempt to overthrow his regime, he may be open to talks to end his dangerous standoff with the United States. But, so far, President Donald Trump's administration has continued to insist that the North cannot be permitted to deploy its missiles and has vowed to ramp up economic sanctions still further. We have a long list of additional potential sanctions, some of which involve potential financial institutions, Secretary of State Rex Tillerson said, insisting the pressure strategy remains viable. As a diplomat, we keep working on it every day, he said. Tillerson has been the main U.S. champion of a diplomatic resolution to the crisis, hoping that economic and diplomatic isolation will force Kim to agree to talks to negotiate his disarmament. The diplomatic route has borne fruit. Several countries have cut relations with the North, the UN Security Council has approved tougher sanctions, and China has promised to enforce them. But Kim has not blinked. He continues to trade public insults and threats of war with Trump, and on Tuesday he defiantly tested a powerful intercontinental missile in defiance. In short, as Tillerson's spokeswoman Heather Nauert said on Wednesday, North Korea is showing no interest in sitting down and having conversations with the world at this point. Privately, however, some U.S. diplomats admit Kim has already got what he wants, a credible nuclear deterrent, and many independent observers say Washington will just have to live with it. The North Koreans have always been willing to talk, they're just not willing to talk about giving up their nuclear weapons, argues non-proliferation expert Jeffrey Lewis of the Middlebury Institute. Having got this far, they're not going to talk about that, he said. We can talk about deterrence, stability, reducing tensions, resolving security issues, about living with a nuclear North Korea. Washington is not yet ready to do this. In the aftermath of Tuesday's test, Trump and Tillerson hit their phones to reassure allies of their resolve and press China for greater efforts. The United States will urge the UN Security Council to further increase international sanctions and is considering calling for an oil embargo and inspections of shipping headed for North Korea. As Abraham Denmark, director of the Asia program at the Kissinger Institute, wrote on Twitter, U.S. still has a lot of options to respond to the ICBM test: oil embargo, maritime interdiction, ban on foreign labor, secondary sanctions, deepen diplomatic isolation, strengthen military posture in region. Will these bring complete, verifiable, and irreversible dismantlement of the DPRK's nuclear program? Doubtful, he wrote. Map showing estimated range of recent missile tests by North Korea, including the rocket fired on November 28.